It's an honor to be invited to come and speak to your graduation. I was invited by this great president here, and he's one of the great education leaders in this nation. And he and all of you together have built, or continue to build, one of the great predecessors is here, my friend, one of the truly outstanding institutions of higher learning in the world. And so you're all a part of something very special, as you already have been in your undergraduate work. I want to begin by commending you on these front two rows for your hard work. Hard work. I leaned over to the dean. I said, did they do all this work while they were still teaching? And she said, yes, and doing other important things. I want to commend you for your hard work and commend your family and your friends for supporting you and helping you. And I want to say how impressed I am with the School of Education here at Elon. Now, I was on the original board of the Elon advisory board of the Elon Law School. It's a terrific law school. Became accredited as fast as you can possibly do it in this country. And you have other great schools here. But this School of Education is really something. I didn't know about this master's program. I've now learned something about it, including meeting all these fine graduates here. It's involved in empowering teachers. I would say to all of you in this audience, empowering teachers to become inspired leaders. Preparing teachers to do exceptional work. Following one of three important paths of inquiry. Inquiry preparations in elementary education, special education, and gifted education. I was involved in this state's leadership when we first put special funding into gifted education and other kinds of special needs. And it has a global involvement. They've gotten global insights. Not all of these students now participated, I understand, in their Costa Rica, Central America experience, but most of them were there for 2 weeks. And they learned a lot. They learned a lot about different kinds of schools. My wife taught school in an elementary school in Kathmandu, Nepal one time when we lived there. That was shortly after she had a baby in a missionary hospital. We learned a lot. You learned a lot. And one of the things you learned was what it feels like to be in a school where English is not the language they speak, right? An important thing to learn, and it helps you as you help students. You've had especially valuable experience, and I hope that you recognize it and appreciate it. And I hope that you'll continue to support it. One of the things we have to do when we have wonderful opportunities is to value it and help other people have wonderful opportunities. That's really sort of what education is, when you think about it. It's passing it on, letting the next generations participate in it and value it. So this is a unique and valuable program. And I am especially proud of you all and proud that you'll be getting your hoods and your graduate diplomas today. Now I want to say 5 things to you. You know, they always say that you never remember anything that a graduation speaker said. Well, that's not quite true. I remember my high school graduation. I remember something that the speaker said. He said, "You will not remember anything I say." Well, let's see. First of all, Thank you for being teachers. Thank you for being teachers. Teaching is the most important job in our society, and I think it's the hardest job. Done well, done the best, you can do it. And I want you to know, especially today, in the times we're living in, some of the recent developments, I want you to know that the people of our state appreciate you. Not just your family and friends who are here, special friends, but the people of this state. You, as teachers, are our heroes. I really mean that, and the people mean it, whether or not they say it often, and sometimes they do. And those students of yours will feel it, and they'll say it to you more as time goes along. Now, some people in Raleigh may not appreciate and respect you as much as they should, but most of us do. And a lot of people do, and you can read the letters to the editor in the papers and the op-eds, and you'll know that. So thank you. By the way, isn't it nice to do something that people appreciate, even if it's hard? Second, we the people want you to be the best teachers you can be, the best. We appreciate your constant work to learn more, to be better, to collaborate with your colleagues and your families and your community, in the communities in which you teach. We the people know that good graduate education makes you better teachers. We have solid statistical evidence of that in North Carolina. The legislature could have had the evidence if they'd asked for it. They didn't. But we have it. And we're going to make it more obvious in the years ahead, in the time ahead. And today is evidence that you are learning more and being better and that you are more deserving. We want you to be recognized and rewarded financially for your hard work and success. And not just you who have come under the line, but those who are going to be getting a master's degree in the future. We want that to happen. You deserve to get extra pay, supplemental salary for having a master's degree. And I believe the decision in Raleigh to change that will be reversed. Third, we want you to teach your students to high, globally competitive standards. The education standards in the states of America have not been high enough. Perhaps even in Saudi Arabia, where one of this master's candidates is from, perhaps they aren't high enough. They need to be higher. We need to be competitive with the world, don't we? I can tell you that I deal with CEOs, as President Lambert does all the time, CEOs around this country, around the world. They expect students to know a lot and be able to do a lot. And if we want to have those companies and have those jobs in America, we have to have students who can fill those jobs. And in fact, we want to be the best. And so we need to have those kind of standards in our schools. We want your students to graduate. We want them all to graduate. And by the way, I want this audience to know that last week, the state of North Carolina announced that the graduation rate had gone up to 82.5%. That's up about 15 points in the last 6 or 8 years. Haven't these teachers done a good job? And because most of these are elementary teachers, those figures are going to be even better in the future, aren't they? Well, we also, if we're going to do this, we have to have those good standards. We have to know what they need to know and be able to do. And we have to meet those standards. We have a set of standards called College and Career Ready. They've been developed by the states working together. We call them State Common Core Standards. They're good standards. They're the right standards. And we need to implement them in North Carolina. Doing that requires a lot of work. And all of these teachers have been involved in doing it, studying them, looking at them, seeing what they are. How do you teach to those standards? It's not easy. It's going to be harder. We can do it. And these teachers have done a lot of work. I want everybody in this room today to know. And I know the faculty knows over here, that this is a big deal we're in now. Getting ready to have higher standards so America will be more competitive and we'll have the best jobs and more of them. So the Common Core standards are important, and I appreciate your work in getting ready for them. And I can tell you that the people of this state and this country believe that those better standards need to be what we're focusing on and achieving. Fourth, I hope that you, as advanced professional educators, will actively support, now I'm talking to you citizens, I guess, special citizens. I hope that you will actively support, and I'll say this to everybody in this room today, actively support both higher pay for all educators. In North Carolina, teachers have had a 1.2% salary increase in the last 5 years. That's wrong when funds are available, as they have been as we've come out of this recession. So I hope that you'll support, actively support now as leading teachers and education leaders, higher salaries for all teachers, and significant additional pay for performance in teaching and leading successfully in the schools, in having achieve special attainments, such as the master's degree, such as national board certification. We need to emphasize both of these things in our state. And I would urge all of us to understand the importance of this and to support it strongly. The norm should be, I think, a cost of living increase, as I said, for all educators, but extra awards for special credentials and success. We're going to need, I say to you as teachers and to you as faculty, we're going to need to develop a good teacher evaluation system in North Carolina. We're working on it. We haven't finished it. We've got more work to do, but we need to understand the importance of it. And teachers must be at the heart of designing it and implementing it. This isn't something somebody else does over there and hands it to our schools. Let me tell you a story. When we created the National Board for Professional Teaching Standards, working with the Carnegie Commission years ago, I chaired a planning commission that worked on it for 2 years in designing it. And then I chaired the board for 10 years. We did one special thing. We provided that on that board, there would always be a voting majority of practicing teachers. And we need to have teachers at the heart of all of our work. Fifth and finally, I want to thank you for the special efforts that you're making to become highly skilled personally and to utilize the promising new technologies available now to increase student learning. Now, I have a confession to make. I have had an iPhone 5 for 2 weeks. I keep calling people back I've already talked to. Part of the salvation is my 12-year-old grandson's going to be with me in my office on Monday. And he's going to help me. But I want everybody in this room again to know that this has been a big job for teachers, especially those who are not the youngest. They are learning to use all this technology. They're learning to utilize it in their teaching. How many of you, the educators can't vote here, how many of you have ever heard of flipping the classroom? Raise your hand. Let's see. There are 2 in this whole hall. Oh, 3. Oh, I'm sorry. I wasn't counting the... Well, they're more on the platform than in the audience. What that involves is students using all of their devices and so forth to hear the lectures, to read the material at home. Not just coming to class and hearing the teacher lecture, but getting it at home. And then coming to class where the teacher can ask questions and see what they've learned or haven't learned and bring additional things to bear in that learning process. But you see how much better that can be? The students are really focusing on, by the way, they want to do it anyhow. They're going to be doing something at home, aren't they? With those devices. This can be a much better approach to things. And today in education, our wonderful teachers have learned this technology. They've learned to use these devices. It's taken time and effort. They have done it. And they must continue to do it. By the way, they're always new. And you always have to learn more. I can't imagine how you've done it, but you have. And you must keep doing it. And I hope that you will be strong supporters as teacher leaders and voices that are heard. Don't you fail to speak up in your school, in the teacher meetings, in the community, talking to leaders, school board, the superintendent, whoever, about what needs to be done. And it's important that we advocate for the technology and the funding for it that we need in our schools and that students need in their homes, especially in homes of poor students that don't always have it. North Carolina, on this rainy day, some people think that the rain's a problem. If you raise cattle and want green pastures, it's great. And I do. First cows I ever bought were in this county. I remember it well. But North Carolina's at a critical point today in education, especially in public education, that is so important, indeed essential, for our democratic society. But I am confident. There are a lot of people who are down in the mouth and defeated and, oh, woe is me. I am confident that we will renew our commitment to education as the key to our future. And I urge you, empowered and blessed with this wonderful educational experience here at Elon to make North Carolina and this great country of America all that it can be, all that it should be, all that it must be. Good luck.